And we are
the same old podcasts? Well, I have some good news. Check out BEG Wrestling on YouTube and Spotify featuring Olympic gold medalists.
Now, after you go to Paris and win this gold medal, what's the first thing you're going to do?
UFC superstars.
With none other than Bo Nickel.
A new professional league in 2025.
We're talking paid professional wrestling.
Goats, young and old.
And so with that being said, I think, those are just things we have to embrace.
And even celebrities.
Billy Baldwin and Caden Henschel.
Show your support for BEG Wrestling by voting them Best of the Best in Frederick 2024 for Podcast Now. Just click the link in the description and vote for BEG Wrestling under the Arts and Entertainment section and Best Podcast. BEG Wrestling on YouTube, Spotify, and all major social media platforms. Contact us now to start your own podcast.
All right, folks, welcome back to BEG Wrestling, baby. We are here, and we are live. Friday live, folks, and huge week this week, Kevin. Second half of our preseason rankings, folks.
Oh, yeah.
And we're getting it in, man. A lot of research, folks, and these are going to be very accurate. And we'll get into exactly how we're giving those. But first, the little preview before, folks. Today is officially the last day to vote for BEG Wrestling as your favorite podcast for 2024 out of Frederick, Maryland. I mean, come on, folks. The link is in the description. Click it, enter your email, vote for us. Today's the last day. We need your support. Hey, Kevin, along with that, real quick, I got to announce I have a fully functional studio here now. So professional, fully functional studio. Man. So we're going live a lot more frequently. We've geared up. We've ramped up for the season this year, Kevin. Excited for that. In addition to that, I'm going to be putting out some international spotlight shorts, okay? We're blowing up internationally, Kevin. Brazil.
Going worldwide.
Israel. Yeah, so we're going to do some spotlight things with them. Along before that, I hope everyone who is currently experiencing Hurricane Helen right now is okay. And that includes our friends down in Florida, Miramar Wrestling. I believe it's Miramar Wrestling. So they sent us a shirt. I should have wore it today. I'll wear it next week in support of them. I hope they're okay. If you guys can let us know you're okay, we would appreciate that. And folks, call in live. That's the whole point of the show. Call in live. Join the comments. We'll put your comments on the screen. You can call in live and give us your thoughts on these rankings. Last week we had a couple baffles there, Kevin, with Ayala.
Yeah.
So we're going to do some explaining. And one final thing, folks, Tom Houck from Claw Wrestling going to be coming on next week to give us an update. The professional wrestling league starting in 2025, which is going to be here before you know it, folks. But Kevin, this week we have a lot of big topics. Our NCAA rankings 165 to heavyweight, along with the All-Star Classic topics, and who's number one, along with an article very positive about wrestling and the growth of it. So, Kevin, welcome to the show, man. How was your week? Appreciate you joining.
Good, buddy. Thanks, man. You good?
Hey, I'm good, man. I'm ready to rock.
Right.
This is rankings episode, man. So, if you're ready, I'm ready, dude. You want to go into this right away? All right, man. I'm going to put 165 up on the screen, folks. Let's go right into it. 165. Kevin, give us a brief explanation again about the tiers of these rankings and how we're doing them, just to give everyone a brief reminder.
Yeah, so these aren't your everyday rankings, your normal rankings that you'll see on Flow or Intermat. These are we're calling them our WrestleDamus, Nostradamus rankings. This is how we feel the NCAA tournament in 2025 is going to end up. So you could see maybe a guy has beaten someone recently, but we still have that guy ahead. That the reason it being is this is who we think is going to go how far in the NCAA tournament. So we post the podium pick, then we got the podium guys, then we got the round of 12, and then the Sweet 16, and then we got the round of 24. So we do 24 per weight class, and we're going to update those throughout the season. And obviously the first one is going to be tough because there's so many questions on who's going what weight. We did make I made a mistake last week. We had two different copies of 133, and the one we put up was, which was my fault. It was not the right one. It didn't have Ayala and Noto in there. So went through and fixed those. We're going to be posting all these on a Facebook page, right, Zach?
Correct. Along with begwrestling.com coming soon, folks. It'll be here before the season starts, I can assure you.
Very cool. Yeah, so we love feedback on these, please. You know, the whole reason to do rankings is so people can discuss things, you know. And, you know, we got a lot of good feedback last week. And just remember, if someone is not in an All-American spot that you think should be, absolutely let us know. But then also let us know who should be taken out, because we can't pack 9 into 8. But no, I really appreciate all the feedback. Even everybody that, you know, saw that ILO wasn't in there. Everybody was really cool about it. They weren't losing their minds on me or anything. I got a lot of messages, but I appreciate that. And let's have fun with this. We're going to be doing a lot of different rankings coming up. So,
yeah. Kevin, let's get into it, man. Let's talk about 165 here. Mitchell Messenbrink, I believe the overwhelming favorite. Happy to see Caliendo there from Iowa. As an Iowa fan, we'll get into more about them. But maybe some names that are higher than expected. Amin and Bearclaw. Go ahead.
Yeah, Messenbrink's probably the most favorite of all the weights. Like he's majored and teched Caliendo, who's the number 2 seed. And Caliendo is by far the number 2 seed. You know, he's much. I think he's way above 3 through, you know, so
Messenbrink here, folks. Messenbrink, arguably the number 1 fantasy wrestling pick at this point in the year, right? The most dominant in his weight class. Mitchell Messenbrink here, Caliendo here, and then you're telling me 3 below is a significant drop off.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Hunter Garvin has really been coming along. You know, Cam Amin, Peyton Hall, my boy Ramirez, he's like the regular season champion, man, but he's been a blood rounder 3 times now. He's going, if he loses in the blood round again, he'll be the only one besides Mickey Felipe to ever lose in the blood round for all 4 years. So he still is not All-American entering the senior year. So now Sammy Sasso, well, first Bearclaw. Bearclaw, I have a lot of confidence in him, man. He's tough, and he proved it last year. Going up in weights, going 174, wherever they asked him to. He's a scrappy guy, and I think he's going to make out really well in this weight class and style wrestling.
Well, Bearclaw would be the wild card here before you move on, because
absolutely.
You know, Flo has him significantly lower in their rankings, and to me, I could see Bearclaw significantly higher than finishing than 7th here. I mean, he's a true wild card in this weight class, I would say, and right behind him would be Sammy Sasso, because we don't know the health. Wild card for different reasons.
So Sammy Sasso's listed as their 165-pounder on their site, which surprised me because he was 149 before you know, the tragedy, and then he was supposed to go up to 157. Had that not happened, his whole mindset was going 157 this past season. And from what I heard, everyone said that he lost all this weight from the, you know, because he wasn't, you know, able to work out or all this stuff. But apparently, which makes more sense, he probably gained a lot of weight. I don't know, you know, Sammy Sasso, if this incident doesn't happen and he's Sammy Sasso of old, he's much higher than this. But we don't know. This could be too high. This could be where they're just screwing with us, and he's not wrestling at all this year, or he's not going to be anywhere near 165. I don't know, because you got to realize too, Ohio State has a lot of options. They got Bryce Hepner, they got Carson Karchla and Rocco Welsh above at 174. So there's a lot of guys packed in there. So this kind of threw me off when I saw this, but I'm putting it in there because this seems the most probable based on them having it on their website. Now,
I'll say this, Kevin, before you move on from Sasso, real quick. Hey, there were conflicting reports about Sasso, because, I mean, you just heard Flo talking about Sasso moving up a weight combined with they're not sure about his health. They do not see him performing this year. I believe that's reflected in their rankings. But then yet I had heard he was close to wrestling and participating in Claw. That happened just a few months ago. So where is Sammy Sasso's health? I'm not sure. Is anyone sure? But you're right. If he is healthy and he's a strong 165-pounder, certainly a wild card in this weight class.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a scrapper, and he's real tough. Now, a couple of interesting guys, a few interesting guys in the blood round. Nico Ruiz, Arizona State. Watch this guy, man. He is tough. He wrestled Messenbrink. Messenbrink's first match, actually, his first college match ever last year. And the final score was 14-10. Messenbrink won. Now, I understand it was his first match. Maybe he's got the nerves going. But
I remember that.
Even Askren said Ruiz really surprised him. So he is a tough cat. And Nick Hamilton, kind of a funny story. Last year he won the ACCs as a freshman, right? He got the MOW of the ACC tournament. And what was his reward for that? He was given the 26th seed at NCAA's. Despite he wrestled Julian Ramirez first round. I'm watching. I'm like, man, Ramirez having trouble with this guy. Why? It's first round. I look and I'm like, this guy won MOW at ACC. Why is he wrestling this guy first round? He's tough, man. And again, he was a freshman last year.
So you expect a big jump.
Yeah, I do. Now, not much going on after that is really worth talking about. These guys are going to shift all over the place. So if you want, we can jump to.
No, I don't see any other names in the round of 16 or 24, but I do like the Ruiz and Hamilton. Maybe they're from your round of 12 to possibly bump into the podium, Kevin. But any final thoughts? And I'll put 74 up here on the board.
All
you
right.
good? You ready? Go.
Yep.
74. Let's go, baby. It's Keegan O'Toole. And
Yep.
all of a sudden, Kevin, Levi, I thought you told me Levi was redshirting, but now the signs, folks, are telling us something else.
He's in, man. As soon as I saw that, a few things. I saw that Facundo certified at 157. Because before it was Facundo's going to go there, Kasak was going to go 57 because Facundo has already used his Olympic red shirt. Well, you don't use it, but he used a Olympic red shirt, and he used the red shirt. So he was going to have to burn a year if he doesn't start. So I figured put Facundo in at 74, have Haynes red shirt. Well, now Facundo's certified at 57, which leads me to believe that Kasak will red shirt. Then when you see how well Haynes did against O'Toole in the World Team Trials, I'm not saying that's an awesome indicator on what's going to happen in folk style, but nonetheless, he won 6-0. He took him down with folk style moves. It wasn't like he gutted him or anything. So I think that you have to put him in this year. And he also has been very vocal about not wanting to redshirt at all.
Yes.
So
correct.
To me, I think he's in there. Now, I don't know. That match to me is still a coin flip. I think
because Levi just beat O'Toole, right? But in freestyle.
At World Team Trials, 6-0.
And yet you have O'Toole as number one. A little questionable,
Yeah.
especially if I'm a Penn State fan, Kevin.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. Keegan O'Toole is. I need to see more. If it was a folk style match or on the winning side of the bracket, not on the consies. All these different things factor in when I'm looking at this. If gun to my head right now, I take Keegan O'Toole. That could very well change. Keegan, by the way, looked massive. Haynes looked like a good size 74-pounder. Keegan looked huge. I don't know how he made 165 last year. Now, something kind of interesting. Dean Hamidi. I don't understand why. Okay, so you got guys like Anthony Noto at 125 is going to bump up to 133 this year. And then you got Dean Hamidi bumping up 74. I don't get it, man. I know it's a huge weight cut for these guys, but man, if you're Dean Hamidi, go 165, man. Think about it. You were beating Messenbrink. I know you lost, but in your head, you got to think, man, if I would have, been in better shape, not, got whooped at the end, just something, you were right there. Let's put it this way. It would be a possibility. Nobody could say it would be an impossibility for Hamidi to beat Messenbrink if they wrestled again. Messenbrink's the favorite, but you couldn't say it's impossible.
I agree.
When I see him at 74, though, I don't see him.
Some big dogs up there at 74. Levi looking.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man. They're stacked up there at 74. So you're questioning this weight bump, but I think the 3, 4, 5 spot are fascinating here between Hamidi, Rocco Welsh, and my boy Gabe Arnold, which I can't wait to touch on Iowa more. Maybe we got to touch base with Terry too. I got to make a note of that.
Yeah, definitely. And Gabe Arnold is interesting too. Now if Levi Haynes for some reason, if he redshirted for some reason, right? The only thing that they would be doing is putting Zach Ryder in the starting lineup. Zach Ryder, 4-1 his senior year last year in high school to train at M2. So a lot of people think he redshirted, but he didn't. He was still in high school. So this year he's a true freshman. Now he has beaten Gabe Arnold quite a few times in the U20s, in the age level tournaments. So Zach Ryder is tough. You know what I'm saying? But Rocco Welsh is interesting, man. He kind of just came out of nowhere. I mean, he was really good in high school, but last year he was a freshman. All of a sudden he's in the national finals. And you remember he had that really tough match with Starocki in the dual meet, right?
Yeah.
I looked through all his matches and I was really surprised that, his scoring was crazy at NCAAs. I was looking through and I couldn't believe his trip to the finals let's see here. So at NCAAs, he lost to Carter in the finals 2-0, right? Okay, so round 1, he wins 4-2 over Danny Wask. Round 2, he beats Austin Murphy 4-1 in sudden victory. Then he beats Edmund Ruth 4-1 in sudden victory. He beats Lennox Willix 4-1 in sudden victory. So this dude scored 1 takedown each round except for the final. So he scored a total of 4 takedowns, but he was not taken down the entire tournament, and that includes the finals. Nobody took him down the whole time. So I also went through and I looked at Big Tens, right? He lost to Edmund Ruth 4-1 in sudden victory. He lost to Patrick Kennedy at Big Tens 4-1 in sudden victory. It's unbelievable. He wrestled how many 4-1 sudden victory matches this guy. So when the going gets tough, this guy, he doesn't open up, man. He's got a heck of a defense, but he isn't opening up a lot. So I think that he really needs to switch that if he's going to jump levels, because you gotta open up more. He's got the talent to do it. He's extremely talented. But I just thought that was interesting that he had every single match was like that. I mean, you got 3 sudden victory matches before you get there. I guess I wasn't paying attention, but
I mean, clearly, yeah, he had an approach, but
yeah. So that I thought was nuts. But with Ohio State too, you wonder. Carson Karchla is an All-American. What's going on with him? Bryce Hepner is really tough. I think he's more of a 65-pounder though. But Rocco Welsh, freshman NCAA finalist. I don't know anything about who wins that match in the room. If Rocco is consistent, I'm guessing it's a 4-1 sudden victory match, but I don't know who wins. But yeah, so that's 74 is not.
When Rocco's in the All-Star Classic, isn't he? Is he wrestling in the All-Star Classic?
Yes, he is. He's wrestling Levi Haynes.
That's right.
And we'll get into that. Like this kind of goes into the All-Star.
We'll get a barometer, folks. We'll get a barometer here very shortly. I'll say I could see Gabe Arnold bumping up here and making some big moves here. And so does Austin N in the comments. Says he thinks Arnold's in the finals this year. Iowa always gets one.
Could be, man. Hey, man, any one of these guys could be. Lennox Willix came out of nowhere last year, too, for Columbia. He was in the NCAA. He was in the NCAA semifinals, and he lost 4-1 in sudden victory to Rocco Welsh. But man, he did really good. Simon Ruiz.
Yeah, tell me about him, Kevin.
Tough, man. He is really tough. He gray shirted last year, right? So he's a freshman this year for Cornell. He gray shirted, and he had 1 loss the whole season, and it was to Rocco Welsh. And I'm gonna let you guess what the score was.
4-1.
In sudden victory. Yeah, absolutely. That was his only loss. He is really tough, man, and I'm pretty sure Foca is going to stay at 84 this year.
Okay.
I don't know why, but he is. So Ruiz he'll start at 74, and I really like him to All-American.
What about Bernagle, dude? Tell me about this Bernagle, Illinois kid.
Well, the brothers there, they redshirted last year. They're tough as nails, man. They've been around for quite some time. It seems like they've been in college for 15 years, but it just maybe it seems like that, but he's a guy I can see has like a ceiling of maybe top 4, but also has a floor of like round of 16. You know what I mean? He's inconsistent. He's always a tough out for anybody though. You're not going to blow this guy out. Just real stingy on his feet. But yeah, the top 8 there, man, they're going to shuffle all over the place without a doubt.
How about in this round of 12, Kevin? Who's the first one in, would you say? We got Jackson, Turley, and Contreras, Whitting, and Gaetan.
I'd say Gaetan or Turley maybe. It's I always am curious. Like Whiting transferred over to Minnesota. I'm always curious to see how transfers do. If maybe something clicks. Generally speaking, we haven't seen too much of that, but you're always in hope that guys transfer over. Minnesota, by the way, watch out for them. They got a lot of transfers. Them and Virginia Tech are going to be sneaky good this year. Round of 16, you got Adam Kemp, Lee Kemp's son, always tough. And Jared Sima is someone that could definitely move up the ranks. Outside of that, man, Donnell Washington, one of the few to beat Carter Starocki. Those guys that they hate each other. They always were battling back and forth. But Carter pretty much beat on him after that. But yeah, that's about it. This weight doesn't really excite me a whole lot, to be honest with you. Like I like the top, I like those top podium guys. After that, it's kind of, I don't know.
We got some
Not
questions. How old is Branagle? I mean, I know we just changed the rules to now you can have 60 years in college. I mean, 6.
Yeah, anything can come back, man. It's like a big
42?
open tournament, the NCAA tournament.
The other
Big old timers.
is 40. Okay. 74. Let me just say this, man. I hope Levi's in this weight class. I really do. And let's move on, Kevin, because we got people calling in again, baby. But let's go. Let's move on. 184.
Yep.
All right,
So,
Kevin, it's Carter, Parker, Dustin Platt, Muniz, TJ Stewart, Foca, Nelson Brands at 7, and Berge. Come on, Kevin, explain this to me.
well, Stewart beat Foca. Foca beat Brands last time they wrestled pretty convincingly. It was like 7-2 at NCAA's.
Yeah, but Kevin, that was before Nelson Brands had this huge chip on his shoulder. He's going to be my prediction comeback wrestler of the year. I'll get into it.
Before he had a year off of wrestling? Is that what you meant to say? Or?
Well, yeah. He dogged up in that year off, man.
Now, hey, Nelson Brands only lost to Starocki, I think it was 2-1 that same year. Stewart is tough, man. TJ Stewart, him and Foca had a really good round of 12 match. I think the final was 3-2, and Stewart ended up All-American. Dustin Platt, way better since he moved up to 84 from 74. When he was at 74, him and Foca wrestled at NCAA's. Foca pinned him in the first period at NCAA's, and then all of a sudden he moves up, and wow, he just, besides Keckeisen, he was beating everybody, and it makes you wonder. Is it in his best interest to move up to 97? Now, the only reason I say no is because you just moved up to 84 from 74, but you're an NCAA finalist. There's no way in the world I see Plot beating Carter or Keckeisen. Keckeisen just pounds him every time. He majors him, So, I don't know. It's just, and now that Carroll's not there at Oklahoma State anymore because he went to Iowa State, I think Serber will be starting at Oklahoma State. So, I don't know, man. If he could ever put on the weight, his odds are much better at 97, I think, than 84 Plot.
I agree. Listen, Kevin, real quick. Marty's in the green room. Marty, hang on until we wrap up these rankings, then I'll let you in. Marty, a long-time caller, big-time fan. Haven't seen him in a while.
It's been a while.
Has been a while. But first of all, Kevin, before you really dive in here, so you're basically telling us Carter's going 184, and he's better than Parker. I would argue you on that, Carter versus Parker. But, right, confirm
Carter,
that.
I don't know, man. It's a coin flip. I think it's a coin flip match right now, Maybe it's because, I don't know, man. I think it's a great matchup, and I love it because Parker is going to make Carter wrestle, offensively, because Parker's going to shoot 100 times on him, And I'm just really curious. I wish that would have been the All-Star Classic match because we're only going to see it once this year if it happens. It's going to be in the NCAA Finals probably.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and I do see that a mistake was made. Donnell Washington is listed in 74 and 84, so I'll get that fixed. This is not this is something that we have to kind of massage through people. So there will be mistakes. Please feel free to point them out.
Hey, I was going to mention Donnell Washington. You had him down there at, 20th there, 174. I just put it up on the screen. But, yeah, we'll go on, move on. Hey, mistakes are going to be made. But by the time these are posted, they will be tight, folks. Very
they'll
tight.
Be all tightened up. They'll be tightened up. Okay,
Can assure you that.
Outside of that, before we move on, just, Bennett Burge, super tough. Bennett Burge was one match away from doing the
Bergie, right?
They call it.
Don't you say Bergie?
Yeah, Bergie.
Bergie. Come on, Kevin. Come on, dude. We take pride in our pronunciation.
We don't. No, we don't. He was one match away from doing what Kazak did, losing in the first round and going all the way back and taking third. He ended up taking fourth. Dylan Fishback is real tough. Edmund Ruth.
Whoa, yeah. And Pinto. We got some big names outside of the podium here, Kevin. My goodness.
Edmund Ruth and Pinto. I mean, this week's stack. Aaron, I don't even want to pronounce the name. Izerov from Colombia. That was one of the most interesting things I've ever seen. He wrestled Foca at Vegas, and he beats him 9-0. I was like, oh, my God, Foca's going to suck this year. And then they wrestle in the dual meet. I'm like, all right, Foca's going to beat him. He beats Foca like 3-0. I'm like, how is he shutting Foca out? Foca's so offensive. They wrestle at EIWAs. Foca takes him down first. Still loses, like 9-6. So then they wrestle at NCAAs, and Foca techs him in 90 seconds. Doesn't make any sense. 16-1. Who knows, man?
Wow. Well, hey, man.
But, yeah, this weight is deep, man. This weight is really deep, and it's not talked about a lot, but it's going to be very exciting this year.
Okay, I mean, so a couple things. Would you say this is the deepest weight? I think last year it was 157. Pretty
157, I still think deepest weight class.
Yeah. So you're saying 157 stays deepest. No, I can't. That's tough to argue. I'm also going to confirm you're saying Carter will be our first ever 5-time NCAA champion. That's what you're predicting here, Kevin.
Gun to the head, yes, but I'll tell you what, man. It's not.
He's got a lot of stuff going all of a sudden
I will
on
say
these.
This. We were talking. I was talking to what's his face there, Drama King, and you know what, man? Good for Carter, because when I first heard he was going up to 197, I was kind of like, man, that's kind of lame, dude. Like, put it on the line against Parker, the Hodge runner-up last year, 90% bonus rate, undefeated. 97, it looks like you're kind of jumping away, you know what I mean? And then I'm confident that he could beat O'Toole, but I'm like, O'Toole's moving up. Why are you doing this? So for him to go 184, man.
You're saying touche Parker. Good. Touche Carter. Unfortunately,
yeah,
I think that might be a much closer match than expected, and you're also confirming that he's not running away from AJ Ferrari. Is that what you're saying also?
Dude, he's not even thinking about AJ Ferrari except for when
he is thinking about AJ Ferrari on his tweets. Yeah. A lot of tweets. A lot of tweeting.
His wrestling decisions are not based on AJ Ferrari. I can tell you that. And this is what we need to see more of. I would argue that I haven't seen anything done like this where, Carter's moving up to wrestle him since Dake and Taylor. Dake moving up and putting his 4th title on the line against Taylor. This is similar to that. He's putting his 5th title on the line against Parker, who had a 90% bonus rate last year.
Yeah.
And Dake did the same thing. Dake moved up to wrestle Taylor, who had over a 90% bonus rate the year before and was the Hodge winner. So this is very similar, and we need to see more of this. I love it.
Well, let me simplify it by asking you this question, Kevin. Who wins in a wrestling match between Parker and AJ? Is there any question who wins that?
I'd say Parker. Yeah, I'd say Parker.
I mean, come on, dude. AJ's big. I just saw a video out today, AJ. We're going to talk about you here in a little bit. Hold on. Hold your horses, AJ. I know he's getting all fired up over there.
I think Parker would gas him, at the end. I think Parker would.
Yeah,
but
I would agree with that.
AJ's a big boy. It's a really tough.
AJ is a bull.
He's gonna have to suck weight to make 197. He's not. He's got to be like 215 or so.
Carter don't want to be running into him, dude. He don't want to be running into him now, Carter. But now you mentioned it. Let's move on, Kevin. Let's move on to 197. because we're talking about him. And as much as you hate him, he's in there, AJ, at CSBF.
Cal State Bakersfield. Dude, you kill me.
Well, I don't even know what those acronyms stand for. Anyway, he's there, folks, but it's Buchanan at 1, the Iowa dog, followed by Cardenas. Okay, poor man out there in Michigan, Rocky Elam. Go ahead, Kevin. Wrap us up here. Tell us about this.
Buchanan and Cardenas wrestled for 3rd place last year at this weight at NCAA's. Hidley and Brooks were in the final. Buchanan, I thought he didn't destroy Cardenas, but there wasn't any point in the match that I thought Cardenas was going to win the match. He controlled the match pretty good, I thought. Cardenas obviously broke my heart, and it's not that he chose Michigan. He had to choose Michigan because of the stupid Ivy League rules. Cornell only got 3 years out of him. A lot of people think this is Cardenas' 5th year. No, man, this is just his 4th. And it's because of the COVID thing, and he graduated, and you can't graduate from an Ivy League school and still wrestle. So he had to go to Michigan. So nothing like handing over 20 NCAA points to a team,
Hey, we talked about that when we talked with head coach Bormet. But real quick, Kevin, I'll say we got a lot of great comments, folks. Keep the comments coming because I'm trying to put them up on the screen, all the great comments. But comment sections firing off, baby. Keep going.
That's awesome, man. Rankings do that. So Rocky Elam and Cardenas, they wrestled 3 times last year. Cardenas beat him pretty good, almost majored him in the dual meet. And then, surprisingly, Elam beat him in the court. Round of 16 or quarters in NCAAs, and then Cardenas beat him again in the Conci semis, I think. And then Stephen Little, I think I'll tell you what, don't be surprised if you see 5, 6, 7, and 8 move a front a little. Little is really good matchups against someone, but not against other people. When he wrestled Cardenas in NCAAs, Cardenas pinned him. He whooped him and pinned him. But I've seen other guys have a lot of trouble with Little. And,
well, I'll tell you right now, AJ Ferrari is getting real heated right now. The fact that you have Mr. Little from Little Rock ranked ahead of him right now. I mean, come on, Kevin. You got a lot of explaining to do. But, hey, I love Salazar and I see at 7 there, Michael Beard. What is he, a freshman? He must be a freshman, right?
Oh, dude, Michael Beard is 63 years old.
I know. Oh,
Michael Beard. Dude, you guys want to see something funny? Go to WrestleStat, right, and look at Michael Beard and go, how is this possible? What is this?
I remember my dad telling me back about Michael Beard when he was at Penn State, how high he was on Michael Beard. And my dad drafts Michael Beard every single year in fantasy, and I'm pretty sure he'll do it again this year.
He bombs at the NCAAs, man. The last 2 years, he hasn't done well at all, and it's surprising to me because during the regular season, he was 29-4 last year, man, and he did an All-American. And at NCAAs he lost 10-3 to Little, and he lost 12-1 to Buchanan. And that's weird because he beat Cardenas in sudden victory in the EIWA finals. He always has a really good regular season. It's just the NCAAs. I mean, year before at NCAAs, he lost to Batista by a point. He lost to Truex by a point. And
Michael
he lost
Beard
to
will forever be in college wrestling. But Kevin, I see Salazar there. I do want to ask you. I mean, I see a lot of Minnesota guys up here, man, and rumor on the streets didn't work out for Gable in the NFL. Real quick,
yeah. Well, he actually just had another workout with the Baltimore Ravens,
and it didn't work out.
You saw it. You just saw it.
He's not working out in the NFL.
No,
but he can come back and wrestle in college. What is there a potential next move from Gable Stevenson to come back?
No, man, I don't think so because not with college wrestling anyway. Because he would have had to have registered for classes. I think the gap is too far. Like the cutoff was he had to register for classes this semester, which, believe it or not, that seems like it should be too far anyway, too big of a gap. But that was what I was told. And so he can't register for classes in the, come January. It would be too big of a gap between the last time he wrestled. I don't know how it makes sense, but that's what it is. He's got table tennis, like I said before, to try out. He's got, break dancing, all sorts of good stuff he hasn't hit yet. So,
well, break dancing, he might put it. Unfortunately, eliminated that after some of the debacles, but. Okay, so no Gable this year, but that's fine. Salazar is still a dog. I see Branagle there. Kevin, I see Josh Barr in your round of 12. If I'm a Penn State fan, you're a little kooky to me, dude. Explain that.
Well, here's the thing, man. He's not a 97-pounder, okay? So why is he there? Okay, well, he already redshirted. So he's either going to burn a year of eligibility or he's going to go 197, wrestle off Cochran, and win the spot. I truly believe that both Marisalos are redshirting. I think that's for the better.
Yep.
So Cochran's tough, but I like Barr over Cochran. But Barr, the 184 to 197 jump can be real tough, man. And these guys are big, and I think that I only have him ranked there, not because of talent, but because of size. I think that the following year he goes right back down to 84. It's just that what's he going to do? Carter's at 84 right now. We thought the original plan was going to be Carter at 97, Barr at 84, but I only
another big
there.
name, Alared there. But go ahead, sorry, man.
Yeah, no, Alared is really inconsistent. I've seen, and I know I bring up like Cornell matchups a lot, and I apologize. It's just because it's off the top of my head. Cardenas teched him last year. I mean, he's just very inconsistent. He has won the Big Tens before. We got Glazier there.
Come on, man.
I typed in
the Iowa transfer.
I typed in South Dakota State on purpose instead of San Diego. You're like, what?
A previous error.
So,
previous error, folks.
Glazier.
Man on camera. People love to blow us up when I make verbal mistakes.
Glazier, here's the thing with him, man. He had a great regular season last year, right? Unbelievable regular season. He had one loss, and it was to Brooks.
He just had a tough loss to Brooks. He was right here with Brooks. Now you have him on the outside of your... Like, come on.
Hold on. Pump the brakes. Pump the brakes. Look at WrestleStat and look at his season last year. He had 4 quality matches before the Big Tens. All his wins were...
Well, he can't help that.
Right?
Then
he wrestles Brooks again at the Big Ten Finals, and he gets teched. So
everyone got teched by Brooks.
Well, that's the thing, though, is you can't.
But he had to match that, and now you're telling me, okay.
So
Michael Graybeard.
I don't know, man. I just don't. So then, outside of that, at NCAA's, he goes 1-2, and so it's as soon as he had to wrestle good guys, he didn't pull through. I think he's got a lot of potential. I'm rooting for him. It sucks what happened to him, but
obviously he has potential, Kevin. Obviously, he has a ton of potential. Yeah.
I see him. I don't see him.
I'm hating on that ranking a little bit, Kevin. But
what's that?
I said I'm hating on that ranking. Not to mention the chip on his shoulder. He's coming back with this. Him and his Iowa conglomerate that moved out of Iowa. You don't think they're coming back with a vengeance, dude?
Are you handing out all these chips on these shoulders, man?
No, Tom Brands is. Tom Brands is handing them out, apparently. He's got a lot of
more I'd like to see than Glazier. I'll get on the podium.
Man, I see maybe three wrestlers in your round of 12 that could crack the podium. Another deep weight class.
Last year, I don't see it. I just don't see it based on his NCAA's last year. I don't know, man. He didn't step up. Maybe he will this year. Maybe he's out there doing Rocky, man. Just freaking. He's got Brands on the mind, and he's got Buchanan. He's just going crazy, and who knows, man. Maybe this is the motivation he needs to spark a plug in his butt there, because, dude. Did I just say that? Did I just say spark a plug in his butt?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. All right, let's move on, man. We got to move on, dude. Marty's hanging on the line forever. Let's wrap this up. Heavyweight is Kirk. It's Captain America Wyatt at 2, Nick Feldman at 3, Colton Schultz, younger Bastida, who, what an unfortunate tournament last year. Trumbull, Ben Keeter from Iowa, another wild card, and Nathan Taylor there to round it out on your podium. Kevin, Kevin, tell us about heavyweight here.
Kirk Fleet, obviously the heavy
Obviously.
favorite. Now,
Although
I would-
underperformed World Team Trials. I'll
he
say.
teched he teched Hendrickson at the All-Star last year, but Hendrickson was very, very, very injured. Very injured. He shouldn't even have wrestled. Not saying that Hendrickson would have won. I'm just saying I don't think he would have gotten teched. Feldman, every time Feldman wrestles Kirk Fleet, he seems to be getting closer. Last match was 1-0.
Man, I'll say this about Wyatt Hendrickson real quick, Kevin. I feel like he's real close to being like more of a prop guy than a legit guy at this point. Like, because like he was build up, and he was legit. He was pinning people. He was the pin master, right? And then all of a sudden I've seen a plateau out of Wyatt, and now I'm starting to question, is the hype for Wyatt Hendrickson bigger than the actual reality of wrestling on the mat for Wyatt Hendrickson?
I don't know, man. He almost beat Mason Paris last year to go make the world team. He was very, very close, and he still had a huge amount of pins last year, and now he's going from Air Force to Oklahoma State.
Okay, that's a good point.
You got to think that
David Taylor coaching. That's a great point.
Yeah,
I don't know. I just can't get it out of my mind that freestyle match at World Team Trials, he got thrown off the mat. Who was that? Do you remember who that was?
That was
super
Grandpa
huge dude.
there. What's his name there?
Just
Don
threw
Bradley.
Wyatt Hendrickson off the mat.
Dude,
and
Don
I thought,
Bradley
oh
was
my
like-
goodness.
He's like, you're my son's age, man.
Yeah, he just
Get outta
threw.
here.
I was like, oh wow, oh wow,
all
dude.
all we heard was a thump, and then you just see Hendrickson like going like that, and Bradley's
Stand
just
up,
walking around.
Captain America, stand up. I thought I was watching a Marvel movie, dude, but
That was awesome.
I don't
That was
know,
cool.
man.
So Batista had a great season, but then he broke his finger or something.
Bastida had the broken finger and kind of with the cop-out excuse after the fact, but
Schultz
fingers are a big deal.
Schultz is the not the most exciting of wrestlers to watch. Great Greco guy, but he wrestles folk style like he wrestles Greco. There's not a lot of shots going on, and nobody really wants to shoot on him either because he is a tub, dude. He is a big
boy.
Dude.
He's a big boy.
A lot of 1-0 matches with Schultz, and then Isaac
I think
Trumbull.
Ben Keeter beat Schultz. I'm just gonna say that Ben Keeter, and that is a size mismatch. But Ben Keeter,
that's the thing. That's the thing. And Schultz is I don't think that's a great matchup for Keeter because Schultz is so much bigger. However, look at what he did against the Iranian monster there, Keeter, the 6'6" monster there.
Learning how to deal with these big boys. He's been learning how to deal with them. Yeah.
I'm really excited to see the young guys here. I'm excited to see Keeter, Trumbull, and Feldman. I'm excited to see what they do. Because these guys are all, the thing they have in common is they're all guys that wish that there was a 220-pound weight class. Keeter, Feldman, and Trumbull.
Yeah.
Trumbull made it
even
to the
Wyatt,
Olympic trial.
right?
What's that?
Even Wyatt would root for that weight class.
Wyatt's
right?
huge, man. No, Wyatt's huge.
Okay, maybe.
But
I'm sorry, I can't get that vision of him
Trumbull,
getting thrown off the mat. How can he be huge? He got thrown off the mat. Dude. Can't be that big.
He is jacked. Hendrickson's jacked. But anyway, Trumbull made it to the Olympic trial finals and lost to Snyder. So, dude, that's a hell of an accomplishment. Make the Olympic trial finals. He redshirted last year. And Keeter,
he's a dog, dude.
Same thing, man.
Keeter,
these guys are.
Ben Keeter's a dog and growing.
These guys are all around the 225, and they give up a lot of weight, but they're tough. And Lehigh Taylor there, he had a great regular season, but just like Beard, he kind of just bit it at NCAAs.
How about Ty Godali there? Campbell. I've seen a couple Campbell kids here. Hey, shout out Campbell. Wrestling, baby. Campbell's on the map officially. Ty Campbell's that claw
I love seeing this, man. I love seeing smaller schools in the rankings. Like, I love it because it just makes wrestling better, man. That's all it does is make wrestling better. But yeah, after that, man, honestly with this, I mean, besides Slav is tough. I'm just not real high on Slav. I think, I think he's going to have one of those years where he stayed too long in college, and he's not really, that's just my thought.
We've seen that.
I don't know. I'm not real high on him. Outside of that, I don't really see many threats. on here, to be honest with you. So
I
we
see
can move
Dayton
on.
Pitzer there. That looks like this will be a disappointing season for Pitzer. I mean, just be right. I mean, I'm
Yeah,
surprised you
it
got
He might.
Dolly there.
Yeah.
The Campbell
I
kid,
don't
the
know if he
claw
knows it
wrestler,
yet. I don't know if
is
he
going to
knows it yet,
beat him.
but-
And I think this Nathan Taylor. One final question on heavyweight, Kevin, then we'll move on. We got to put Marty on the line. He's been hanging on for a long time. Nathan Taylor. Tell me about Nathan Taylor or Lehigh. Or did I miss you already did?
I did, but it's okay. He won the IWAs. He's really tough. Had a great record last year, and he, just like Michael Beard, and a lot of Lehigh wrestlers actually, he underperformed big time at NCAAs.
Yeah.
He was really supposed to get on the podium last year, and he didn't. It really, I don't feel it was even close. Really, he just wasn't there. So.
Okay, sorry I missed that, folks. Producer Jamie's supposed to be coming back here soon. Marty, you're on the show. You're in here, and we want to get your thoughts. You've been hanging on the line so long. I think he forgot he called in. Look, it's just a blacked out screen. Do you hear me? Marty?
Wait,
you hear
guys,
us?
I'm in. Hold on a second. Is it working now?
Yeah, we
Well-
can hear you.
Can you see me though?
No, we can't.
Oh, I feel
That
sorry
doesn't
for
matter,
everybody.
dude.
As good looking as I am sometimes.
That's what I was going to
Guys,
say.
I've missed you terribly. I have been. It's just, the start of the new school year. I took a new job, got out of the English classroom, went to the Land of Milk and Honey in PE, and it's just been crazy. But I have been trying to make an arrangement to get this our MVP trophy delivered, and our MVP winner. You guys know this. He's a very busy man. He's got a lot to do. While I was up in Michigan, he's he's got recruits all over the place. He's got people that donate to the program. He's got I'm the bottom of the list. I don't understand.
Yeah.
As a BEG representative, how can I be at the bottom of the list?
Whoa, you're throwing out you're a BEG representative, Marty? I love it. I love it.
As I wear the shirt, as I carry the trophy, I'm a BEG rep.
Okay. Well, how many times have you worn the BEG underwear, Marty? Because I know you are the one and only person who has officially bought BEG wrestling underwear. And folks, Marty, former wrestling coach, go look at his track record, his history, his resume.
No.
Marty is not a joke, folks. This guy calling in, his phone might be a joke because it's a blackout screen. His coaching and wrestling experience is not. I can assure you that. That's for sure, Marty.
No.
Right?
I'm nothing special. You know what? I didn't get one takedown. I didn't get one pin. It was all the kids. I lost more matches for kids than I ever won one. That's the facts.
Well, I don't believe that for a second.
I was very fortunate. I had incredible assistant coaches, starting with my twin, and I had incredible kids. They won those 10 state titles in spite of me. So that's I will always believe that. So, and I was just blessed. I was very blessed. But let's get back to the trophy weekend. So we had to go to Michigan. I got my shirt on. I got the trophy. I'm like, look, I will drive wherever you're at. He goes, I just, like I said, I think it was the weekend that they played. They got crushed. I can't remember who they played, but they got beat pretty bad. And Michigan was probably not a very good place to go. So, and then I'm like, Sean, I will drive up there wherever you are. He's like, well, I'm in California. I'm like, okay, so are you flying into O'Hare? He's like, no, I fly into Detroit. I was like, okay, well, I'll drive up. He's like, well, we got another home game, and I got recruits. He goes, and I have a big donors dinner. I'm like, okay. He's
listen.
I'm like,
I'm
we're
sure
gonna get it to
Mr.
him.
Bourmet couldn't be more excited to receive this trophy, Marty.
He is. He's extremely excited. He's
Got a
extremely
place
excited.
off the trophy area for it. I saw he's got a light shining on this empty spot, and it's just
Keep checking in with us, though, Marty. And when that happens, when that delivery happens, you're always welcome on the show. And
not only that, I have my wife and my son polishing that trophy. It is 14 karat gold. It's amazing. It's
very nice.
It is the most beautiful trophy. I can't wait to
we
deliver
didn't skimp on that trophy, Marty. So take
It's
care
really
of
spectacular.
it. Didn't
like I
skimp
said,
on the
they're
apparel,
polishing it.
those underwear. Tell us about the support in those underwear. How good is that support?
Listen,
No, we're good, man.
For an older gentleman like
We're good.
for an older gentleman like myself, and having been through the ringers of the urologist and the prostate stuff, it's amazing.
Thank you, Marty. Oh, all right, but hey, Marty, we got to move on. We got to talk about the All-Star Classic. We got a couple other topics, but hey, check in with us next week, Marty. We always appreciate it. We love you out there.
One more thing I got to say.
Okay, what do you got? Go ahead.
I'll save it for next week. Thanks, guys.
Oh, the cliffhanger, Marty. Oh, you love it. You got to love it, folks. Oh, this man was built for television. And then he comes on the screen in the final seconds to show us his face.
I'm driving.
Oh, but he's personal friends with Michigan head coach Mr. Sean Bourmet out there. We interviewed him just the other week. Marty, make sure that any message that we want delivered to Mr. Bourmet gets delivered, folks, and that includes the MVP trophy, last season's most valuable purchaser award. Sean Bourmet won from Michigan. Unfortunately, not in the running this year. But, Marty, thank you. Final thoughts.
Hey, final thought, real quick. I wanted to just say this. This is my real final thought. We're doing all these rankings and everything. How can nobody not cheer for the kids that got bumped because of the INL? That's what I wanted to say.
Ooh.
How can you not cheer for those kids first and foremost?
No, I agree, Marty. I agree. It's a dog-eat-dog world out there, Marty. Until next week, we love you. Out there in Illinois, but friends with Michigan. I'm not sure the state. I'm not exactly sure the geography. But, Marty, until next week, thank you for calling in. We love you.
4.5 mile drive. See you later.
See you, Marty.
Bye, guys.
See you later.
All right, Kevin, we got a couple other things because we have some big let me get situated here. Okay. Let's move on, folks. We got other topics. And what do we got next? All-Star Classic we got to talk about, right?
All right, so I'm going to be a little bit of a Debbie Downer on this.
Flo's All-Star Classic 2024 lineup has been announced. Kevin, go ahead.
Well, it's not. It's only been 6 of the 10 weights have been announced, okay?
Okay.
And what that tells me is it's not a great sign. Now, listen, hats off to Flo. You know, they helped bring this back and because there was like a 4-year break there, and they do a lot to promote it. And they can only get the guys that want to wrestle, you know? It's not as if we can make 1 and 2 wrestle. You know that number 1 and 2 are asked. They asked just you end up who you end up with, you know? It is what it is. So the fact that it's taking this long tells me that that's not a great sign, that we're sliding down the thing, but I don't even care about rankings. What I wish they would do is get guys that are from different conferences that don't wrestle each other a lot and that score a lot of points, that go out there and like a Bryce Andonian, yes, I know he graduated, but I'm just saying, like a Bryce Andonian, Meyer Shapiro, like just guys that are nuts, right? That are just scoring. I don't want to see any of this 1-0, 2-1 crap. I don't want to. Nobody does. And when I'm looking at these matches, okay, let's just go down.
125, Jor Volk, Tanner Jordan.
Volk and Tanner Jordan. All right. They wrestle all the time, okay? And their last 2 matches, 2-1 and 1-0, okay? 2-1, 1-0. Just don't give a crap about that, okay? Nasir Bailey and Evan Frost. Now, this one's interesting because they wrestled at the collegiate duels, and Bailey teched him in the first period, 15-0.
Okay.
Crazy, right?
Well,
now,
not great.
Frost outside of Mendez, I think, was one of the most improved wrestlers. I mean, talk about a guy that a college program really did wonders for. This dude improved.
I love Evan Frost. Evan Frost did wonders for my fantasy team last year. I'm a big Evan Frost fan.
You are a big Frost fan. So,
said it week after week. But then we have Mendez and Bartlett. We've never seen that before. Maybe we have some things to say about Mendez.
Bailey and Frost. Bailey is a stud on top, man. He is strong as hell. Now, even though Evan Frost improved, I still like Bailey, and I like him by a decent amount in this because I think that his top game is just brutal, and I think he's going to do it again. But Mendez and Bartlett. Now, Justin Bosch put out a thing last week because people were complaining about the matchups, and he's like, "Well, there's
Boshamania.
going to be a NCAA final rematch coming up," and so I'm like,
Little
"All right,
teaser. Throw out a little teaser.
So I'm looking. I'm like, "Well, it's got to be Bartlett Mendez because it's him saying it, so it's definitely a Penn State guy." And all the other Penn State guys checked off. It doesn't make any sense for any of them that were finalists. And then I'm thinking to myself, he must have screwed up. There's no way they would have these two wrestle again because they wrestled 3 times last year, and they're going to wrestle probably 3 times this year, and now 4. Why?
Well,
And you know
Kevin,
what?
because Mendez tells us in all his interviews how he is simply out to score points, okay? And that's what his job is, and that's what he does, right?
Well, I gotta beg to differ. Although I've praised Mendez. Like I said, man, he went from being a 133 pounder that had to win like 3 tiebreakers to All-American to being a national champ by moving up a weight and doing well at the Olympic trials. However, I've noticed a trend with him is when he's getting these tight competition, tough matches, he's not shooting. Like the NCAA finals, he actually Bartletted Bartlett, okay? Because he got Bartletted a couple times, and then he Bartletted Bartlett by not shooting.
To Bartlett is tough to do.
I'll tell you what, dude. If you would have told me, if you would have smudged out like the guys in the match, right, where I could just make out the 2 guys wrestling figurines or whatever, and I couldn't see color or anything, and I saw that match, I'd be like, oh man, Bartlett got that Granby at the end, because that was, I would have never guessed Mendez. But then Mendez wrestles Aliris in the Beat the Streets, and he got a push out. And then the only takedown scored was when Aliris went for broke at the end. So
yeah. Well, listen, Kevin, you're going to sugarcoat it, and you just put out all the facts and put it very nicely. I'm going to say what you're trying to say. Mendez does these interviews and says, I'm out to score points. I'm trying to score. No, you're not, Mendez. Yeah, maybe against the bad wrestlers. As soon as Mendez goes up against good competition, it's scale it in. No aggression. It's all talk on that microphone, Mendez. Be a dog, dude. Start shooting against the good wrestlers, and I'm tired of hearing this talk about points.
Now,
right? Isn't that what you're trying to say,
thing,
Kevin?
Yes, and I am in no. Now, listen, I don't have any issue with what he does. He's a national champion. Who the heck am I? However,
all due respect, yeah.
Don't say that you're just out to score points, because even at Olympic trials, man, like, he beat Yanni, but guess what? It was off Yanni's double legs that he was throwing in on.
Wasn't exactly aggression.
He is a magnificent defensive wrestler, one of the best, man. But I don't know, dude. I don't want to
just say that in your interviews then.
Yeah.
If they're ranked in the top 10, I'm not going to try to shoot.
Dude.
I'll probably just do my defensive game, right?
So Bartlett and Mendez, dude, it's a 4-1 match every single time. 4-1, 4-1, 4-1. And I just don't care to watch that match again. I don't care to see it a 4th time. And that's really weird to say because it was an NCAA final, and I just don't care because I'm going to see it 3 other times probably. Moving on.
Van Ness Waters.
This might be the match I'm interested in most. It is definitely the match I'm interested in most, and I'll tell you why. These guys are not that different from each other in the fact that Van Ness, he definitely overperformed. Like he won in NCAAs and nobody expected much from him. Even at the beginning, the first couple rounds, man, he was getting crushed, and he came around and pinned the guy. He was getting first round, He wrestled out of his mind. He wrestled good. That's what a lot of these Penn State guys do at NCAAs. And same thing can be said for Waiters, man. Like, not Waters. I'm sorry. Ty Waiters. He wrestled out of his mind at NCAAs. And he is a bear on top. I think these guys match up against each other, like, really well. I think it's going to be interesting. And everybody's interested to see how Van Ness is going to do. What are you laughing at?
I'm sorry, man. Might have been the funniest comment I've ever read. Christian B says, Wayne disappeared just like Sleepy Joe. Wayne's coming back, folks. He will be back. Great comment, though. We'll put you up on the show if you have a good comment, folks. Keep going, Kevin. I'm sorry.
So... yeah, I'm interested in this match, man. I want to see how Van Ness is. I want to see how he's going to be. He wrestled in the All-Star last year. So that match, I'm going to say bravo. this is what you want. And I know a lot of people are like kind of poo-pooing on this match, but I think it's great. It's not about what they're ranked. It's about, is it going to be a fun match to watch or not? This is going to be a fun match to watch. Now, moving on to Levi Haynes and Rocco Welsh. Everyone's so pumped for this match, except for me. I'll tell you why. Do we have to rewind the film with Rocco Welsh? Chances are this match is going to be 4-1 in sudden victory, because every one of his matches are. Go look at WrestleStat. You don't have to believe me. Look at it. Levi Haynes has one of the toughest defenses to get in on. I mean, he just blanked Keegan O'Toole. He's so tough to score on. You gotta finish. You gotta be fast, and that tells me that there's not going to be a lot of scoring going on in this match at all. I'm thinking I don't even see a takedown happening in regulation in this match.
Oof.
What do you think?
Well, we might not see one in that one or the heavyweight bout between Kirk and Feldman, right?
1-0. That was the last time we saw these guys. Why do I know people are going to totally smack talk me about this. I get it, but it was 1-0. Yeah, maybe Feldman comes out and beats. No, I don't think so. But I know he almost did, but it was 1-0. So when I look at this lineup, I'm going, okay, 125. Last two scores were 1-0, 2-1. Bailey, last time he teched Frost in the first period. That's going to be different, though. Mendez and Bartlett are 4-1 every single time. There's one takedown in the match every time. Van Ness and Waiters, awesome. Levi Haynes and Rocco Welsh. Rocco Welsh had not given up one takedown in NCAAs last year, and he only had 4 takedowns the entire tournament. He's a 4-1 sudden victory guy. And then you got Greg Kirkfleet and Feldman 1-0. So I'm like, all right, man, there's a good possibility, Zach, that we watch out of these 6 matches alone here, that they're in regulation time, that there's 1, 2, that 4 of these matches don't have a takedown in regulation. There is a possibility.
Okay, there is a possibility. But, Kevin, I got to stop you there. I got to defend you. Flo. I got to defend Flo. Because,
I'm not attacking Flo.
I don't know how this works. And maybe these matches are trash. I don't know. But, listen, I do know that these aren't the only wrestlers they probably asked, right? And the fact of the matter is, the blame probably, if these matches aren't great, I don't know, maybe they are great, who knows? But if they aren't, I think the blame should probably go on these wrestlers, dude. Why are they not wrestling? Get out there and wrestle. Why everyone should be begging to be in the All-Star Classic, dude. What happened to the day when, back in the day when I was growing up, dude, if you were a dog, you wrestled anything and everything to compete. You wanted to compete, dude. Nowadays, it's fancy Nancy seating stuff, dude. It makes me sick. Fancy boys, everyone's getting soft, dude.
Zach, that's the thing. And this is exactly what I said before we went into this, is it's not Flo's fault. They're asking people, and people have to want to do it. But this doesn't even count on your record, so it's nothing to do with seating. This doesn't count on your record. And it's just, and you know what? They have it at Penn State. They've had it at Penn State for the second year in a row. Why do you think that is? Well, because they want the Penn State guys to wrestle in it. And maybe they wouldn't if it was somewhere else. I mean, it makes sense if you think about it. You get the Penn State guys in there. A lot of them are ranked in the top 2. You know, it just makes sense. And another thing I don't understand, I never understood is like, why doesn't this match count? Why doesn't it count? It's a match. And Jason Bryant actually explained it to me. And I'm going to read what he said is it's an exempted event because athletes are selected in the pool of available athletes. It does not have an equal opportunity to compete in, like a regular scheduled event. So yeah, it's just that's why.
I don't know what that means, dude. But
no.
Go ahead. Finish. Wrap it up.
Sorry. Go ahead.
I mean, I'm just gonna say the point I want to make is that touche to Flo. I want to give a shout out to Flo for holding this again. You know what I mean? Because we want to see matches. We want to see wrestling. Okay. The fact is, wrestling is more popular in these other countries, which is why I'm gonna start doing these international shorts. Because, dude, these other countries are starting to watch BEG wrestling. Listen, if America is not gonna embrace us, if we're not gonna embrace wrestling, listen, folks, we got to get on it. Like, we'll get into it though, because we are embracing it, right, Kevin? And why don't I move on to that? Because Final shout out to Flo for hosting this. And final, I know nothing, but I want to say I hope that wrestlers did not decline this. That's all I'll say on that, because
no
folks,
reason to. There's no reason to decline it unless they're like, I mean, Van Ness accepted it and he blew out his knee, you know, like, there's no, you should be proud, man. This used to be an honor for people to be in the All-Star Classic. You got
know what, it brings up a point, Kevin. I just want to say this, man, because I experienced this in business, dude. And these guys are right now in wrestling is like a very niche sport. However, what you see on the screen now, folks, is that it might not be a niche sport for much longer. So these guys sitting on their high horse, picking and choosing matches, this may not last forever, folks, because the news is in for the second year in a row. Wrestling is the fastest growing sports, boys and girls, in high school, okay? And this past year broke the all-time participation record from 1976. So sit on your high horse while you can, because you're about to start to have wrestling, because we talked about this recruiting class coming in, these Bassett, Jack Forrest, Blaze. I mean, arguably the best class of all time coming in this year. And, okay, I expect that to just continue in the future. And maybe this, preference may not be forever. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, these guys, by the way, they wrestle. You don't see, I mean, how many tournaments do you see that these guys aren't in? These guys have been in every tournament, every trials, every, age group trials, every age level. Anything they can go to, Jax Forrest, Marcus Blaze, Bo Bassett, PJ Duke, these guys are all wrestling in all these tournaments. They don't give a crap who they lose to.
I love that.
They are just, and you know what? They're getting better because of it. They're not getting
other people are going to start paying the consequences. In fact, I could have made that argument for David Taylor at the World Team Trials this past year. In fact, he ain't doing a lot of wrestling. Then he goes out there all of a sudden. Yeah, now he got a fire under him. He lost. You know what I mean? Get out there and wrestle. Be a dog, dude. We want to see you wrestle. Like, they increased the NFL games. They made more NFL games. Why? Because people want to see more NFL games. Like, wrestle more. Just wrestle more. Tony DeMarco brings up an interesting point, though, Kevin. He said it doesn't count on your record, but Flo counts it for their rankings. Okay, that is a valid point, Tony. And I appreciate you making that comment, because that actually would be a reason.
They don't, though. They always say how that it doesn't count. Like, they always throw that in at the end. Maybe they do, like, subjectively in their head, but it doesn't matter. All that matters is, does this count for your seeding in tournaments or not? And it doesn't. And that, so.
Fact is, it doesn't. Also incredible, Tony Dorsett won the Heisman in 76 from TZ 11-20. Remember that, Kevin?
Well, no, I wasn't born, but yeah, man, I'll tell you what, dude. I really think it sucks when we see these guys wrestle one match a year, two matches a year. And now the college matches, go look at you don't have to go back too far. Look at the 2000 through 2010, man. Guys were still wrestling 40 matches a year. Even in 2017, I look at Yanni was 38-1 his freshman year. That was only 7 years ago. You don't see that even now, even close, man. It's like 20 matches. That's what we're,
Times have changed quick. Adam Fellers does comment and says Flo rankings have zero impact on seeding in NCAA.
Yep, exactly.
Okay, so that is confirmed. However, NCAA is a kind of a clown show in itself, I would argue. But
well, they're
final thoughts on NCAA, because I do want to move to Bo Bassett, because he narrowed his schools down this week, Kevin. And, Bo Bassett leading a historical recruiting tour like wrestling has never seen before, folks. I think is great for the sport. I think is monumental, provides kids in the future a path to actually be a high school superstar wrestler. Okay? Before Bo Bassett, folks, there is no path to really being a high school superstar. Okay? Now these youth see Bo Bassett and they see him and they're like, whoa, wait a second, dude. I'm not great if I can actually be a superstar in wrestling too. Like, I see a path. He's showing you a path. So I love it. He's narrowed it down. I think Yanni made a comment, and Yanni's running up on this, what is it, UPJ with the March Madness Cinderella run into his final. Where are we at here?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because Pitt Johnstown there.
Pitt
'cause
Johnstown,
he's
yeah.
got a Division two. He's got a Division two school in there because that's like where he's from. But I'll tell you what, Bo Bassett's one of the nicest kids you'll ever talk to.
Oh, I interviewed Bo Bassett, dude. That
And
is not only nice, very intelligent. Very intelligent individual.
I actually watched that Flow show, the one they did, where they're doing the recruiting for with Bo and Jax, and I found that really interesting because he was sweating it out, waiting for David Taylor to call, and he knows David Taylor, and you could hear David Taylor in the line saying like, "I called because I wanted it to stand out." Where they were saying how the year before, in order to stand out, you'd call at midnight. Like Cornell was one of the only schools to call Knox, and they got Knox. Now this year, these guys are getting their phones blowing up, text messages, calls, and David Taylor waits till the end to call Bassett, and he's having a nice, relaxed conversation with him. Plus, it's kind of a mind screw there. He's sitting there waiting. When you can't have what you want, that sometimes puts a little nugget in your head. You know what I'm saying? Like I think that was actually smart on him. But I was surprised to see Jax did. Cornell's not in his top 10, which I was kind of surprised to see, but they got a lot of good lightweights coming in. I think by watching that show, I really think that Oklahoma State is if not the top place for that Bo's going to go, it's like the second. I really think that just watching him.
Oklahoma State, Feller's just coming in Iowa. Next topic.
When he was waiting for that call, man, you feel bad for the kid, but he just was like, you could just see it. It meant a lot to him, and it wasn't just something to tally it up there, But yeah, it was really, really interesting. And these guys,
Kev, is that your official prediction right now? Oklahoma State for Bo Bassett, make it right now.
Yeah,
I want to hear it.
Yeah, it is.
Wrong. What? Let me tell you something, folks. October 25th, 2024. I just put it up on the screen, Kevin. October 25th, because Bo Bassett is not the only Bishop McDevitt recruit who is visiting Iowa on October 25th. Okay, it's Bo Bassett. There's another teammate or two. Not only is that happening on that day, Kevin, that is the birth date of young Beaver, who has already committed to Iowa in the womb. Oh, it's a big day for Iowa, October 25th. Hang in there, Tom. Hang in there, Brands. I need you there in 18 years or something like that, roughly, give or take. Maybe they'll have 8 years of eligibility by then. He'll be able to wrestle from 18 to 26. Who knows? Bishop McCourt. That's what I said. Unreal, dude.
That's awesome, dude.
We got to work on our pronunciation.
Yeah, I'm usually okay. Not today, though, man. I'm all over the place today with pronunciations.
Fellers, call in next week. Fellers going to have to call in and drop some Fellers facts.
Yeah, man. You know what? I love listening to him.
I love it.
I love
he's been on
him
the show. We love Fellers, man.
Yeah,
he's great on the show before. Yeah,
he's great. He's got a ton of knowledge, and he's got I like the angles he hits things from. I like watching him on Willie's show a lot.
Also, I like he's got a little fire behind him, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Got a little attitude.
Whenever Willie lets him talk, that is. But yeah, no, he's good stuff. What else, Zach? We good or what?
Dude. I think that's it, dude. Yeah, we've been running long here.
Anything else?
Call-ins and rankings. We'll cut this up, folks. And Wayne's gonna be back soon. He didn't Joe Biden you, folks. Don't worry, he didn't Joe Biden you. And hey, click the link in the description. It's the first link. It says vote for BEG Wrestling. If you're watching this show right now, literally, why would you not vote for it? You don't even live in Frederick, Maryland. Why would you not vote for us? It's not like you care on another competing Frederick, Maryland podcast. We got to win this city. We got to win this city, Frederick, Maryland, first and foremost. Yeah, before we can ever move on. So click the link. Would be greatly appreciated. And obviously like and subscribe. Call in live. Folks, I want this show to develop into like an interactional experience for the fans. This needs to be a party.
It's a platform that Zach and Wayne built real great. And, you know, I was fortunate enough to have them include me in on the Friday show, and love these guys. And we just want everybody, this is a platform on Friday for everybody to be heard and give their opinions.
Everyone to have a voice. The whole purpose of the Friday show is to have a call in, and your comments are going to be posted live on the show. We want this to be interactive. Friday's interactive. Tuesday is the Wayne Strong Opinion Show, and that's coming back. We're going to be adding an international experience touch, and that may be a short pre-edited video versions that I made, kind of like my defendant trial for Tom Brands, where I defended Tom Brands. So you can never fire him, Beth, ever in your life. You're out of your brain if you think you can. And I think that did very well. But listen, we're always open, and we're always expanding, and we're always growing, folks. So new things are going to be happening. Make comments, make suggestions. We're open ears.
We won't poo-poo on what you say, man. We just want to have a conversation. So don't worry about, you know, sometimes you call in and you just get bashed like, you're wrong, you're wrong. No, that's bullcrap, man. Call in, tell us your point of view.
I always appreciate putting myself in another person's shoes and hearing both sides of the story. In fact, I would love to have debate shows, folks. I'd have Fellers and Piles. Adam Fellers and Wayne. Let's debate Penn State. Oh, I love that. But I can't talk people into doing a debate show, Kevin. I can't even talk you into doing a debate show, dude. You get Is that Liam?
Dude. Hey, Zach, I'll do a debate show, but I'm not dressing up, man. That's the
Well, you don't gotta dress up. Hey, real quick before we close out, it looks like we actually do have a late call in. Oh my goodness, dude! Just when you thought it couldn't get any better. Oh, we lost him. It was Fellers, though. It was Fellers. Yeah.
Next time.
And then he said he probably heard me say just when you thought it couldn't get any better, and then he said click. What? Hey, we're up over 2,000 subscribers, folks. And let me play the outro music, dude. You know what I mean? What's up, Liam? Folks, check out the rankings. And we'll be back next Friday, maybe next Tuesday, or maybe the Tuesday after. But Wayne will be back. We're going to be adding an international experience. We're going international, baby. Let's go. We used to have an international correspondent. I don't even know what happened to him. Kevin. He's gone. But we're coming back. So, like and subscribe, vote. We appreciate it. This is BEG Wrestling, folks, and we are here.
We are here.
Thank you.
No? All right.
Swing and a miss, Liam. That's strike one.